The Warriors end this 6-game road trip with the W in overtime against the Dallas Mavericks, 137-131. They'll play 7 of their final 10 games at Chase Center. They stay on track to hang with the Portland Trail Blazers and the LA Clippers. However, that was one costly victory. As our prayers go out to Moses Moody, as you guys all saw in overtime. We're not going to show the replay there. He was playing so well after missing 10 consecutive games with the sprained right wrist. And you saw that play in the open court, and obviously our thoughts are with Moses Moody here as the Warriors do get the W, but obviously a costly one as we welcome everybody to Toyota Warriors Postgame Live. Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, NBA champion Festus Ezeli. I am Bonte Hill. We saw it right away on a great play against Cooper Flagg, picking his pocket, wide open breakaway dunk, and you saw the rest.
Yeah, Moses Moody, incredible game. First game back after missing a significant amount of time with a broken wrist. And this game is not won without Moses and without Kristaps Porzingis. Both of them first games back. And, man, just the energy of the Warriors the whole game long. The story of the first half was turnovers. They fixed it a little bit in the second half. The Warriors had to win this game twice. Yeah. And in overtime, I thought the Warriors showed more energy, more effort. But Moses Moody, GP2, I thought LJ Cryer and all these guys, they came out to play. The bench played well. And Moses Moody's effort, just the last, you get a steal, you go make a layup, and the game's over. And that moment, an injury happens, and he has to get to, it's never good when you get taken off the court in the stretcher.
Yeah, just heartbreaking for Moses Moody. He played so well, it just showed how hard he worked when he was recovering from his injury. And to see that's just heartbreaking because we all know he's such a good guy, such a hard worker. The Warriors need him.
Yep.
You know, they need his shooting, so prayers go out to him. But the Warriors, it's a tough game. The 6th game, end of the road trip where you've had a really tough time closing games. So they've really, a lot of impressive things went on. 49 rebounds, plus 15 on second chance points, 39 assists, 17 made threes. So they did a lot of good things. But as Festus said, I thought Moses Moody set the tone. Mm-hmm. He's just moving so well, aggressive. He looked really good, like he was ready to go on a nice spurt here towards the end of the season. So, like I said, just unfortunate and nothing but prayers up for him and good luck.
Yeah, 23 points for Moses Moody, a team high, pardon me. 9 players with the Golden State Warriors in double figures. But Moses Moody, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 of 20 from the floor, 4 of 11 from the three-point line, and we pick it up in overtime. As the Warriors, look, the Mavericks made a great comeback there. To force the game in overtime. Now, the Warriors did it in with their own miscues, turnovers down the stretch. But you see here, Moses Moody, nice shot fake, great dive.
Great find.
And Gary Payton II, Fezzi, has been playing so well, 17 points tonight off that bench, 8 of 8 from the floor. And there it is right there. Oh, I said we weren't going to show the replay, but there it is. And
a beautiful defensive play. I mean, they made it hard for Cooper Flagg. I mean, between Will Richard, Moses Moody, they were picking his pocket all night long. And just, it says it all right there. Pods and Steph's reaction there.
Had about 58 seconds left in the overtime. The Warriors are able to dribble the clock out, get a good win for them, 137-131. The Mavericks have now lost 12 consecutive home games. The Warriors, they lost 8 of their last 9, so they get a much-needed win. But again, they're 4 games under 500 now. They started this road trip 2 games under 500, so they lost some ground in the Western Conference standings. But what we discussed on the pregame show, Fezzi, was how they can get reinforcements back and maybe make a run in the play-in tournament and, of course, try to make some noise in the playoffs if they were to advance. Well, they needed Moses Moody. We know they need Stephen Curry and Al Horford, but it doesn't look like Moses Moody is going to come back anytime soon. It's such a tough break for a guy who's 23, coming into his zone, finally getting minutes with the Warriors. Remember, his first few years, he know when he was going to play. Is he going to start? Is he going to come off the bench? Well, ever since Jimmy Butler was traded from Miami, he stabilized that starting unit. He was guarding 4s. He was in the corner shooting 3s. And then this season, really just took another leap in his career. And again, suffering an injury in overtime, again, carted off there at American Airlines Arena. Just a tough break for Mo.
Whatever you've asked from Moses Moody this year, you've gotten even more. You asked him to come off the bench, he'll come off the bench and get you stops and hit 3s. You asked him to be a starter when Steph and Jimmy went down, he took his numbers to another level. Double digits in the last 20 of 21 games that he played. And Moses tonight was really the big difference maker. The Warriors have been struggling with scoring. The past couple games, as a matter of fact, this whole road trip, they've struggled scoring the basketball. And what you saw with Moses, he's a floor spacer. He hits threes at a 40% clip. And his ability to decide, like whenever he shot fakes, the defense has to react because he's 40% shooter. He drives down. You saw him great pass to GP2 there in overtime, creating plays, making plays, just getting better as a player as the season goes along. You hate to see that for a young player, especially a guy who works as hard as Moses Moody. Just my thoughts and prayers go out to him.
Yeah, since the All-Star break, at the All-Star break, the Warriors were 12th in the league in three-point percentage. Now, it's not just Moses Moody, but they've gone down to 27th at 33%. And we've shown a lot of times post-game, and this is without Jimmy Butler, without Steph's gravity, still a lot of wide-open shots. Moses Moody doesn't miss those wide-open shots. He was 4 for 11 tonight from 3, and most of them contested. As Fessa said, he's going to knock shots down, but as importantly, because you have to guard him, he's going to open up driving lanes for the guys that don't shoot it well. Collapsed the defense. It was a magnificent, nice little bounce pass to GP2. That was a huge play because the previous play, he knocked down a three-point shot. They closed out hard to him, one dribble into the paint, made the right play. So they've missed him prior to tonight, came back tonight, played a great game, looked wonderful, looked like he was in great shape. But they're going to miss him moving forward as well.
And to be able to rally around Moses Moody and win that basketball game would have been totally understandable if the Warriors blew a 5-point lead in the last 58 seconds there. To come out of there with the win, obviously it's going to be a somber flight home as they have 7 of the next 10 at home. But you see that happen to your teammate in the last minute, and everything kind of goes out the window, right?
There's a lot of thoughts that go through your mind when you see a teammate get injured. You could be distracted from the game. And you got to think, the Warriors are probably kicking themselves for being in that position in the first place. You're up, I think, up 5 with 2 minutes left or something like that.
Up 8 with 3:40 left in the fourth.
Up 8 with 3:40 left. And with that being the case, I think, turnovers, tough shots, and really unforced turnovers. This is a game where you have the ball, and I think there was a play towards the end of the game where Draymond has the ball, he tries to pass it, it feels like it gets deflected, he gets it back, tries to pass it again, it gets stolen. These are plays that you look back at and you think about 1 or 2 plays that could have not let you go to overtime that would have not caused this to happen. So for the Warriors, I think about that as a player, but I know guys also think about that themselves as they're flying back.
Yeah, I thought the Warriors, the second quarter, it got away from them. Dallas dominated them. But then the third quarter, Warriors came out and did the same thing back to Dallas. Obviously, the fourth quarter was 28-28. Overtime, they came out, I think they went on a 6-0 run.
Right.
And then that overtime was 11-5. But their activity, their energy, I was impressed because, again, it's the 6th game of a long trip. They've exerted a lot of energy, hadn't really got rewarded. And then the rebound numbers. They had 49-26 rebound. That's a big number. Second chance points were impressive. And at halftime, they were down 34-20 points in the paint.
Yep.
They wound up tying that number up. So they went away from the three-point shot, started driving the lane again. So I was impressed with their effort, especially at the back end of this road trip.
And the ball pressure by Moses Moody on Cooper Flagg there. Cooper Flagg turned the ball over 7 times tonight against the Warriors. And a lot of that was the ball pressure the Warriors were applying on him, knowing he's not a natural point guard. And Moses Moody with the defensive play there at the point of attack to lead to that fast break. He played really well tonight. You just hate to see it go down like that. On top of that, he had good chemistry with Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps Porzingis now is starting to find his rhythm with the Dubs. And you see, when his smaller defenders on him, Fezzi, he's making them pay from 15 feet out. We know he can step out and hit the three-point shot, but I'm impressed with his mid-block game. 15 feet out, 18 feet out. He's making the defense pay there for putting a smaller defender on him.
Yeah, what I saw from the big fella is that's mismatch. You see it either ended up with a bucket or the defense collapses and he creates shots for his teammates. Willing passer. You saw the rebounding numbers pick up in the second half due to the activity of Kristaps and Moses Moody and Guy Santos. I thought Steve is trying to find a combination that works very well with Kristaps Porzingis. I thought both Moses Moody and Kristaps played well together. I thought the ability to space the floor was really important. You could throw the ball to Kristaps, Moses on the wing, he's a shooter, or guys are cutting through the lane. GP2 is one of those guys. Kristaps played a good game tonight. He's only going to continue to get better. A couple of times he fell down on the floor. I was a little worried. I thought maybe that was an injury alert, and I'm happy he was able to finish the game. Probably the most minutes he's played so far, right? It's 30 minutes?
29 minutes.
29 minutes?
This is what he does. If he's on the floor long enough, these are the numbers he's going to put up. And you saw the Mavericks. I think most teams in the league, they're going to switch those pick and rolls because they'd rather have him go post up than pick and pop for a wide open three. But he's lethal down there. And they tried, I thought in the first half, Max Christie did a pretty good job. I remember back in the day, Nelly used to guard Dirk Nowitzki with smalls and try to get in his legs. And Christie did a pretty good job. But Porzingis figured it out over time. And it's important, yes, to score on that mismatch, but as important to collapse that defense. He had 5 assists. 7 rebounds. But the assist numbers, I think it's just another way for the Warriors to attack offensively. They love to play that 5 out, and most of the times it's off the dribble. That takes a lot of energy. To have diversify that attack with the post-up with Porzingis is a very good thing to have. He can score, as I said, when he collapses the defense, get his assist numbers.
Unfortunately, for a team that's dealt with so many injuries, Steph's only played in 39 games. Jimmy Butler tore his right ACL back on January 19th. Al Horford's out with a right calf strain. Moses Moody goes down, gets carted off the court with an unfortunate injury in overtime in his first game back after missing 10 consecutive games.